Let's get cooking. Hey, one of the concerns that a lot of folks have that start working with us is our pricing schedule. Typically the most of the academies that we help out, their average tuition runs about $249 a month. So if you're below that, and some of you might be well below that, the question you need to ask is, well, hey, how do I increase my pricing? I spoke with one gentleman. He said, "Yeah, one day I'll charge 249. So what I'm going to do is each quarter I'm going to increase my tuition by about $10 per month." And I asked, "Well, what's your concern?" He goes, "Well, my people aren't used to it." Well, we got to shake that off. It's not about your people being used to anything. When you increase your tuition rates, that's designed for the new person. So, Master Pisky, let's you and I banter back and forth, and we'll encourage questions. But when we first met, what was your tuition rate?
I don't remember. That was a long time ago.
And you don't remember because it probably wasn't that impressive. So, but I do remember when you and I in Sacramento and down in Jacksonville, everybody crossed the threshold of $200 a month. And at that time, some 8, 9, 10 years back, that was like, oh, no way you're charging that much money. In Jacksonville, our premium tuition for a program we call Ultimate Coach is 299. No, excuse me, I misspoke. $399. So one of the things that you got to wrap your head around is this. If you want to make your program seemingly more valuable, you have to reconsider the amount you're charging. So often we think we can build our business if we do our best to lower our tuition to make it more affordable for more people. Well, heck, I've tried that. I bet everyone on this call has tried that, thinking that the answer to your challenges as far as building your membership is your tuition rate. It's not. It's not. The answer to the challenge you have about building your business typically comes down to marketing and sales, which can reflect the value, i.e., the price. So I'm not going to ask with a show of hands, but I have a suspicion most of us are under that $250 a month threshold. So here's what we need to do. Pick a date and increase your tuition. Now, this idea that you have to slowly make incremental improvements on your tuition sounds like a good idea, but who are you trying to protect? My suggestion is you're trying to protect yourself, thinking that your presentation has to be so much different. But just pretend for a second you decide to believe what I'm about to say. If you want your program to be more valuable, charge more than anyone else. Because charging more money affects you more than your client. Oh no, Fred, you kind of lost us. What you talking about? The moment you decide to charge more, you need to elevate your level of performance and consideration for your business. Sometimes charging more money is something you have to do to ramp up the effort of you and your staff members. And the cool thing about it is this, it creates to a degree, a level of excitement. Selling at a discount or making your program more affordable, the struggle is real. And let me give you one example. The average karate academy around the country charges a little north of 125, maybe between 125 and 150. That's the average. Well, if you're charging 250, that means you have to enroll a considerable lesser number to generate the same amount of money. Oh, Fred, hold on now, because let me give you let me drive home the point of charging more money. By charging more money, you get better at presenting your membership. By charging more money, you become more considerate and careful how you deliver your presentation. By charging more money, everything is ramped up in your academy because you have to be worth it. However, by charging more money, you actually change in the mind's eye of your potential new membership how important your program has to be, how valuable it has to be. All things being considered, if you want to be deemed the best studio in your community, your area, your city, you have to be the most expensive. Master Pisky, you want to chime in. Let's talk about some of the ideas that a owner, operator, or staff may have to go through to ratchet up their tuition.
Well, I think first and foremost, you have to decide how much. I think you really have to decide what kind of income do you want to make? What are you worth? We are one of the few industries where a person will work for 30 years, still doing the exact same job for the exact same pay, but it's actually worse. You're taking a pay cut every year due to inflation. In fact, here's a good example. We talked about how I believe, Mr. Mertens, you mentioned how much you paid for tuition back when you first started on a call one time.
No, when I first enrolled martial arts,
Yes,
it
sir.
was $29 a month.
Okay, so 30 bucks a month. And we did the what is a dollar worth back then compared to today. If you're not charging at least $200 a month, you're making less money today than Master Clark was charging back in 19, what was it?
71.
71. The dollar today is worth 20% of the dollar in 71. We looked it up. So if you're not charging 5 times that amount or more, you've actually taken a pay cut. And that's just the cold, hard facts. If you're not charging what, I was always taught, I've been taught to believe that, we impact people's lives. I mean, everyone believes that on the call, right? You impact people's lives in ways that other people can't hold a candle to. I really do feel that what we do is as important as anything else out there that a person could do for themselves or their child. However, we get paid a fraction of it. Years ago, I had a lady go, my kid's been in therapy. He's had some issues, some abandonment with his dad, I used drugs when I was pregnant. I screwed up, but now he's doing really good. And his therapist said, I've seen more improvement in James in the last 3 months than I have in the last 3 years. What's different? She racked her brain and she goes, I was thinking. All of a sudden it dawned on me. That's when we started Taekwondo. And the psychiatrist said, well, whatever you do, don't quit. He's charging $350 an hour, and we're scared to charge more than $100 a month. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So once you get that confidence and belief that what you do is valuable, you have to look at, okay, what are, obviously there is an idea of, can my community support it? Well, that's easy to figure out too. Do what is it? A median household income for your area is real easy to figure out. Here in Carmichael, where I'm sitting right now, our median household income is less than 100,000 a year. We charge $249 a month to begin, and it goes up from there. So your demographics may be better. A lot of places are much better, and yet they're charging $129 a month, $149 a month. It's not because the area won't support it. We've got a gentleman who we been working with for years in Southern California, and he goes, I used to charge 99 bucks a month. People told me it's too expensive. He goes, now I charge $299 a month. People tell me it's too expensive. What's changed? His income. In fact, it was a couple of years ago when we went from $199 to $249 on a whim. I heard somebody else charge $249. It irritated me. And I thought, well, if they're charging that for white belts, then we certainly can. Our program is as good as theirs, if not better. So let's do that. And one of our staff goes, well, that's a 25% increase. What if we're pricing ourselves out of the market? And I said, well, let's find out. We can always switch back. And guess what? We didn't have to. But here's the better part. Even if it did make an impact, at a 25% increase, you actually could enroll 25% fewer students and have the same income. Think about that for a minute. I mean, is it easier to service 400 or is it easier to service 300? Well, 300, obviously. But you could make the same amount of money? Yeah, you could.
One of the gentlemen we help out, he was from Orange, California, down there in Orange County. And he just recently sold his academy, relocated his family to Cleveland, Tennessee, about 30 minutes outside of Chattanooga. And anyway, he's going to open a martial art academy. And he expressed his concern about all these other karate schools in the area. I said, well, how many are there? So I went ahead and pulled up a line, about maybe a half dozen in the community, 47,000 people. Now, when you first hear that, think, oh, they got to be sold out. I mean, there's not room for anybody. And I said, well, before you panic, let's call them. So I called and the gentleman picked up the phone and here's how he answered the phone. Hello. I said, well, maybe I've misdialed. I'm calling a karate school. Yeah. I'm the karate teacher. What's up? Now, make a long story short, I wish I'd recorded the call for your enjoyment. You would have loved hearing this one. But anyway, I asked an intelligent question after he did his little rigmarole. I said, what's your tuition after that free lesson and you become a member? He said, well, our tuition ranges from $99 to $299. Now, that's part of his problem. Part of his problem, the reason why he's unprofessional is he thinks he has a safety net for enrollments, and that is a cheap, inexpensive tuition rate. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason why you need to charge more money isn't just to make more money, but to make you better at this business. Selling a membership for $79, excuse me, I misspoke. Selling a membership for $99, you could do it liquored up. The truth is, it requires no effort whatsoever. And that's part of the challenge for most of us. We're charging just enough to get by, but it isn't enough to change our mind about how pro we have to go to help more people understand the value of our membership. So, at a minimum, everybody on this call, I don't care where you are, you need to start charging $249 a month. Well, Fred, how could I do that? You do that with a better presentation. We've armed most of you with the enrollment procedure. If you follow that procedure, you will change their mind about the impact you could have. This call I was just on, he never asked me my name. I volunteered my daughter's name. I gave information about her age, and she was a junior in high school and all that good stuff. There was no curiosity, no interest. He actually had the audacity to tell me, well, when she takes class, if she likes it, we can sign her up. Dude, it's not about the child liking it. It's about the parent recognizing the benefit, the impact this program will have. So let's go back to how we started this portion of our training today. How and why and when do you charge money? Well, how is you simply do it. Why you need it. When starting today. And if you want to change a potential client's change their understanding about the value of membership, you got to get better from the first point of contact all the way through the first lesson in your enrollment procedure. There are two ways you can enroll people. You can enroll them at a discount, or you can enroll them for a destination. And let me explain the difference. A discount is when you think by charging less money, you'll make up in volume. It never, ever works, ever. I think the only company that's ever made money discounting might have been Walmart. So discounting is not the way to go. Destination, what does that mean? You got to help families, particularly the parents, understand where you're going to take this kid. Where are they going to end up? What is it that's going to change for this youngster? What is the destination? Is the destination more confidence? Well, terrific. What's that going to look like? When you help parents recognize the impact that your martial arts will have on their youngster, the money no longer matters. It no longer matters. So to charge more money, here's what you have to do. Charge more money and get ready to do a better job in every aspect of the enrollment procedure from the first point of contact, whether it's over the counter when they walk into your academy, or you reach out to a lead that has opted in, or you meet somebody at the local farmer's market as you set up your booth. The first point of contact helps people decide whether or not you could be the right person for them. And if they recognize you could be the right person for them, are you taking them through a regimented experience to help them understand the benefit, the impact of your membership, to make it worth $249 a month? And there's something else too. By charging more tuition, you automatically open the opportunity to charge more money at the front end of the program. Making it more affordable at the start of the membership does not help you financially. Stop worrying about affordability, worry about value. And the way you pull that off is, as you're presenting your membership, you got to leverage what's called initial investment. Mrs. Lewis, normally to enroll in our program, we have initial investment of $395. And starting next month, your tuition runs $249 a month. That's how you start the conversation. And then when you ask for the money, you do what? Well, you apply some degree of savings against initial investment. And of course, to get enrolled, they need to take care of their first and last month's tuition. And this is how you end up collecting over $500 when you enroll a new membership. And by collecting that kind of money, a lot of wonderful things happen. It alleviates financial stress and strain. It leaves enough money on the table where you can more handsomely compensate your staff members. And it makes the membership real for everyone involved. So my recommendation, if you're not up in the neighborhood of $249, just change it. And if it seems like today would be too quick, well, let's change it April 1. Not as an April Fool's joke, but as a way of you actually putting yourself on a better path. All right, so let's open the call for questions and concerns about increasing tuition rates and what might be holding you back. Because I have a suspicion the vast majority of us not charging anywhere near $249. So what are some of the concerns? Concerns that, well, you may not have, but you think somebody else will. And this way we can talk about it, perhaps help someone else on this call. Questions, comments, concerns about increasing your tuition rate to $249?
Well, I do want to say something, Fred. I did take on your advice and I did raise it. We were at 160 and now we're at 249 for twice a week. And you nailed it on the head, man. Like some people, if they're just broke, it doesn't matter what price it is. The only thing that's changed is we're making more now. That's it,
Yeah. That leap from I've already lost track. You said what, 149?
we were at 160 a month for twice a week, and now we're at 249 for twice a week.
All right.
Yeah.
So you tell me, what'd you have to do? What'd you have to think to shift your tuition rate $90? To add $90 to your tuition rate. What happened for you? How'd you pull that off?
Well, when we did it, we like you said, we were more excited. We can help more people than maybe kind of being kind of disgruntled because we're dealing with someone that's broke and cheap. And usually the people that pay the least, they don't stay as long. They're more of a pain in the ass. Like everything's just worse when they're dealing with broke people or people that are cheap.
Well, matter of fact, we have an axiom and it reads like this: people who pay less pay less. People who pay more, and they pay more longer. Listen, if you want to become a premium service for your community, decide right now that you're going to be the most expensive. And you're the most expensive because you're the most valuable. You're the most valuable. And by making this shift, everybody on staff, they'll kind of straighten their spine and realize, you know what, all this suggestions and recommendations and training about how to present the membership from the phone in person in the office, I better get a little bit better at that. Because the only way you can establish value for your membership is through your enrollment process. Because you certainly can't establish value by being the cheapest in town. And when somebody says, "Well, but you're so expensive," well, compared to what? You know, if you don't give them the idea of the impact your membership will make on their lives, well, of course you're expensive because we have to separate ourselves from an activity. So to charge more money, you got to get better at presenting the value of your membership every step of the way. How you answer the phone. Matter of fact, I mentioned to you when I called this guy, he just answered the call. Hello. And he seemed rather annoyed. Did he not seem annoyed, Mass Pesky?
Like, hello.
And the time difference is like 1:30 in the afternoon his time. You know, so
Right.
what that tells me is that although he wants to sound like he's all that by giving me the price range of $99 to $299, the truth is he's a low-level guy. And low-level guys never make it. Low-level guys are the guys that unfortunately give our industry a bad name. Decide right now, you're going to provide a premium service, and to prove it, you're going to charge a premium tuition. And the cool thing about charging a premium tuition is, again, not to be redundant, but it makes you better because you have to do more. It requires more effort in the training realm. It's like lifting weights. To lift a 10-pound weight is no big deal. To lift a 150-pound weight, well, it requires more effort, more exertion. I think when we change your prices, the same thing happens with your staff. And if your staff is not willing or interested to get behind a tuition price increase, well, maybe they weren't trained well enough. But the truth is, charging more money makes everybody's life easier, providing you put in the work to be better at presenting. Thank you, Kyle. I appreciate your input. Who else? Go ahead, sir.
Rich asked the question, what about pricing if you're in a community center? They're usually much lower than average cost. Well, the rent is, yeah, but the tuition, that's up to you. Are you a better instructor in a brick and mortar, or are you a better instructor in a community center, or are you just the same? You see, because one thing I learned a long time ago, it's not the stuff, it's you. You know, it's what am I going to do for you and your family that matters and has value. Where we do it makes no difference. During COVID, we were locked down tight here in the great state of California. And we were teaching in Roseville. We were teaching at the park. And the community center that we were in, which, by the way, we were actually in a swimming pool center. It was an indoor swimming complex, the Mike Shalito Indoor Swimming Pool Complex. They had about a 1,400 square foot multi-purpose room inside there that we rented out for $900 a month every Tuesday and Thursday evening for 2 hours. And we taught classes. And we were charging the same tuition in there as we were here or any of other academies. During COVID, they never reopened. So we just kept teaching at the park. It was nice outside. And I was bragging on Mr. Wong. I go, yeah, you know, he's signing families up at the park who pay in full sitting at a picnic table. And he raised his hand one day and he's like, sir? I said, yes. And he goes, there's no picnic table. I said, well, what are you doing? And he goes, oh, we just stand in the shade. I was like, what? Because yeah, I have my clipboard and we just stand in the shade. I tell them these are the features, these are the benefits, here's how much it costs. Let's get started.
Yeah.
And some do, some don't. So what? Same rules apply. Miss Stevens is a good example too.
Don't give away. Don't give away. We have a young lady on the call here. And again, I didn't prepare her for the call. Oh, I see her already giggling. But check this out. Last year, she taught 100 classes. She has a
For the
club
whole year.
operation, 2 nights a week, one class a night. Last year, she taught 100 classes. Her little side business generated $100,000. Did I exaggerate a little bit?
I did 98.7.
So, so the young lady taught 100 classes. Now, again, wrap your head around this. She has a club. It's in a multi-use facility. She has about 1,400 square feet kind of carved out for her little opportunity. And she's able to make it sort of like look like a makeshift martial art academy. I saw your new images. They look great. You have your bags hanging up on the hooks and all that good stuff. Anyway, make a long story short, last year she taught 100 classes and generated just shy of $100,000. But it gets even better. She kept most of it as personal income. So get it out of your head, guys, that we're shackled to our location, that we're shackled to our community, that we're shackled to some of the beliefs and ideas we've had from the past, and just shake it off and realize the impact of your martial art program can have on people is as big as you tell it. Tell a big story and keep all your promises and watch what happens. And if you're not impressed with that, you haven't been in the game long enough. But 100 classes. So that means every time this young lady taught a class, she generated $987 per class. There isn't anyone else on the call that has that level of class value. Miss Stevens, would you unmute yourself? Introduce yourself, please.
Hi, my name is Heather Stevens. I'm over here in the wonderful Pennsylvania, originally from California, and yeah, I'm grateful to be on this call. If I had not taken the wisdom of these two gentlemen, I would not have done what I was able to, or I would not have done what I did. So a lot of changing the way that I was thinking and what my normal go-to response and procedure would be, and it just opened a lot of doors and bigger pockets. So it worked out.
Let's take it a step further. Your largest single payment from a family that believed in you. What was it?
$8,000 in cash.
Okay. Like cash, like in an envelope cash,
like in an envelope, told me to go in the bathroom and count it cash.
Yeah. All right. Well, congratulations. Now, tell the truth, shame that devil, because he's out there. He's trying to influence all of us. Did you believe it?
No, I was afraid to call and ask for $20 over the phone when I first started this. And once that got done, and then it was asking for first, last, and initial, and then offering to pay in full. I mean, I was scared too, and I just did it and rehearsed, got some, didn't get some, but I never knew I could collect that much and that a family believed in me enough to give me $8,000.
This family gave her $1,000 and they cannot take more than 2 classes per week. So get it out of your head that more is more. No, what's more is value. The impact you have on the family, the relationship you connect with the parents, the offering that you make, and the promises that you keep. So percentage wise, Ms. Stevens, you may not be aware of this, but percentage wise, you might be the most profitable studio on this phone call right now.
Oh.
Yeah, so congratulations. Very, very good. So this is proof positive that if you charge more, everything changes for the better, particularly for the clientele that you want. I'll give you an example. I'm a yoga enthusiast. I'm here in Reno, Nevada. And I was shopping for some yoga classes, and any yoga class that was less than 150 bucks a month, I didn't even consider going. I said, they can't be good. They can't be good. I'm the client you want. You want the discerning client, the person who does measure value, does want impact. But you can't find that guy if you're discounting your way to potential wealth. It'll never happen. If you want a premium impact, you got to charge a premium tuition. And my recommendation, regardless where you are in the country, you got to break that $200 threshold and stand tall on 249. Ms. Stevens, I've lost track. What your premium membership? What is it per month?
It's not 249, sir.
What is it? What is it?
170.
I really wish I hadn't asked that question because you just
I know. I don't know why you did. I need to increase it. I did just increase it 25, but I need to.
Listen, how much more convincing do you have to experience to realize you are worth the tuition increase?
Yeah.
So will you make a promise to this audience right now? And the promise is starting April 1, I am charging $199 a month.
199.
And make another promise that in September, you're going to ratchet that up to 249. Will you make that promise?
Okay, sir, you got it.
I thank you. All right. So this is how you do price changing. Again, when you change your price, it's not what they'll pay, it's what you believe you'll do to get paid that. And that's how you got to flip it. That's how you flip the script in your imagination. Stop thinking you have to be more affordable to everyone and start believing you have to be more valuable to someone. And that someone is you. You got to step it up. You got to get better, quicker, faster, smarter. You have to be more dynamic, more outgoing. You got to become more to charge a premium rate. And by charging a premium rate, you're going to attract a clientele you're going to enjoy working with. Hey, listen, I like help people just as much as everyone on this call. But the truth is, I have to generate income to protect my family. I have to generate income to produce a future that's inspiring. So charge more because you're going to become more. And what you're going to become is more professional. How you handle your leads, how you address the people in your community, how you take them through a regimented, organized presentation, and how you have the courage to ask what we deserve. Because nobody in this call would give up your martial art experience for $1 million, would you? Let me explain what I mean by that. Would you go back in time and not enroll for $1 million today? The answer is probably no for most, if not all of us. And the reason why, it made you who you are. So we know that is valuable to us. Now make it valuable to other people by getting better at helping them appreciate the value. And the shortcut to that is charge more money. Period. Come on. This is a business training. You know, to be about business, we have to be about profit. And the shortcut to profit is charging more money. Do we need to add anything to that topic, Master Pesky?
I think that is solid.
I
think
see a few
we have
questions.
more. We got quite a few. Let's start at the top here. Kevin says, I'm renting space hourly at a community center, so my space and time are limited. And I had 2 or 3 families come in for an intro class at the same time. That's my favorite. I had trouble juggling with the 3 families after the class to sit down with them individually to try to close membership. So number one, and I don't know if you can unmute yourself, Kevin, or type fast, but did they take class or did you take them on a tour and an orientation lesson? Because if you threw them in class, that's the first
orientation lesson.
Oh, there you are. Okay, great. So
3 of them together though. Yeah.
Perfect. That's the sweet spot, to tell you the truth. All right, so they come in, they see the class finishing up, you provide social proof, everyone's standing at attention, high and tight, class dismissed, you shake a few hands, take photos, whatever you're going to do, and now let's begin. We're going to hand them each a PA to fill out because we kind of have to pluralize the process. It's not so much you, it's us. But we're going to have the conversation. We're going to take them out there. We're going to put all the kids on a dot. We're going to put all the parents on a dot right behind them because parents have to participate. We're going to do the orientation lesson. We're going to take them through the oath. We're going to sit back down. We're going to present the membership. And then we'll let them know that, you know, the next step is to talk about the money. So who's already decided they're in? And the first hand that goes up, all right, we're going to talk to you. I'm going to have you 2 stay here. I'll get to you next. And you go talk to them about the money. And you make the other ones wait. And then you come back, okay, who's next? Let them fight for it. Oh, me, pick me. Okay, come on, let's go. It works magnificently. Now,
all right, so just right off the bat, just take them, just say, hey, this is what we're gonna do. You guys had a wonderful time. Who loves this? Great. You first, come over here. It's not like you have to be, hey, we're gonna go talk on the side.
So I want you to add this. Families, congratulations. What a wonderful class we've just had. Because let me tell you guys what the trial's all about. Our trial membership, and I don't care if it's 1 class or 2 weeks or 4 weeks, doesn't matter. Our trial membership is what we use to make certain a student is qualified to begin one of our programs. And congratulations. What I've just seen from you 3 families is that you're ready to start taking martial arts. So I'm curious, who's made up their mind to be a karate family? Show of hands. Somebody's going to raise their hand. And that's when you divide. I'll speak to you first, you second, you third. But again, tell them why they're ready. We use, matter of fact, repeat after me. You ready, sir? Where'd he go?
He's there.
I've lost track of it.
He's front and center.
Right here, sir.
All right, Kevin, repeat after me, okay? Kevin, let me explain what our trial membership is all about. Our trial program is what we use to make certain that a student is ready, that they're qualified for one of our programs. And after what we just saw together tonight, he's ready to go. So we don't need to use the trial membership. So we're going to show you exactly how to get enrolled in our membership. Who's in? Go ahead. Deliver that one, Kevin.
Yes, sir. All right. So as you guys have seen from today, we had a wonderful time. And what we really do with our trial membership is to really understand that you guys are ready to be a karate family. So, who's ready to get started?
Well, that's pretty close. That's pretty good. Good effort. Kevin, we have this written down somewhere. So take the dialogue and make it your own. But that's how you enroll more people. Hey, I got to speak to Christopher Morgan. Mr. Morgan, can you unmute yourself?
Can you hear me, sir? Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm in
I hear
a
you
Whole
perfect.
Foods. I'm a Whole
Mr.
Foods.
Morgan, Mr. Morgan, where are you from?
I have a school in Charleston, South Carolina, but however, I came up under a lot of Clark systems through Lawrence Arthur.
Oh, terrific. Well, congratulations. So what he sent in, I guess he was flexing his muscle. I teach in a hotel meeting room.
I was just jerking your chain a bit. But yeah, so I have a operation I do 3 days a week in a hotel meeting room. That's how I got my other school going in Virginia before, which was storefront. So I managed to have some health issues, and so I am keeping it in a low overhead, teaching 3 days a week. On average, I do between normally about like 12 to 15,000 a month, roughly, with just teaching 3 days a week.
Well, very good. Matter of fact, you probably know Sam Wiegert.
Oh yeah, I know him well.
I met Sam Wiegert. He came one of our trainings in Jacksonville, and after the event, he called me up the following week and said, "Hey, I want to open a school, but I got some challenges." I said, "Don't worry, we can overcome," because here they are. I don't have any money, and I'm 17 years old. I thought, well, of all the challenges you could present, they're two of the biggest ones. I said, well, do your parents want you to be involved in martial arts? He said, absolutely. I said, go out and rent a hotel conference room. Let's do a 2-night-a-week operation. He did that for 11 years. He sold his business for multiple 7 figures. Have I exaggerated, Mr. Morgan?
No. So actually, I actually started my school in Charlottesville, Virginia, in the exact same hotel meeting room he started his.
Listen, the cool thing about this business is it can be anything you want it to be. I may have shared this before in some of the trainings. We are in an unregulated industry. There's no one looking over our shoulders. Most businesses are heavily regulated. If you own a restaurant, you understand the regulations you have to yield to. If the chicken expires by one day, all the chickens got to go. This guy got to throw it out. So we're in a business that we can have it take shape however you like. And now there's a lot of ways you can do it, but the way we recommend you consider what you need to consider first is, what is your personal income? What do you want to generate? And from that, build your business model. But if you're paying an hourly rate for a hotel room, you got to be keeping some of the money. Am I right about that, Mr. Morgan?
Yeah, so I'm doing roughly about a 65 to 70% net each month on average.
Well, if it's $1, I'm unimpressed. If it's $10,000, well, let's keep talking. How big is it?
So my total overhead comes to 3,000 a month. I generate pretty much all my students just from old-fashioned clipboarding. So I spend pretty much nothing on any advertising outside of clipboarding and referrals.
Well, get to the
And then my total rent for 3 days a week is $1,300 a month.
And what's may we talk about your money? Is that okay?
Yeah.
How much you making?
Yeah, so like if I do about 12, I'll have a straight profit of about 9,000 if I do about 12. If I do about 15, normally the profit comes to about 11 or 12 if I do about 15,000 a
Mr.
month.
Morgan, that wasn't my question. My question wasn't give me a breakdown of how the money could work. I'm asking how the money is working. Are you making 6 figures a year?
Yeah, at this time, yes, sir.
Oh, congratulations. Guys, this thing can be whatever you want. However, when we're going to talk about money, let's talk about money. And here's the secret to collecting money. You got to be willing to ask for an amount that's going to make a difference for everybody, starting with you. Asking a student to pay $99 doesn't change your life. Asking a student to pay $249 changes your life as well as theirs. So let's go back to how we started this spirited conversation. That is, Well, how do you increase tuition? You just increase tuition. And quit thinking that you're going to shake up your student body because you're charging a different tuition rate for the people coming in. Little sidebar here. Do not break your promises with your students. If you guarantee the tuition rate, do not increase their tuition rate. If you do increase the tuition rate, invite them to enjoy their current tuition rate by making a long-term, big, bold decision. And we can talk more about that later. And what's that next question, sir? What is it?
So I think we addressed Kevin. We're good, right, Kevin? Okay, good. Next, we have Master Hackelman. How do you present the membership? How many options, and are they on the same sheet? We present a membership. We present the membership because I don't want to give them choices. I want to give them direction. So everyone starts the same. Basic training. It's going to do X, Y, Z, A, B, C. And you can, to get started today, is this or that. The question I ask is, did you want to do debit or credit? Which is best?
But to expand the answer to that question, because we do have some variations of the theme, if you do charge a different tuition rate within a membership, let's say black belt, but the tuition rate changes because of the number of times they come to class, like 1 to 2 times or 2 to 3 times a week, I'm cool with that, but only present 2 options. And the reason why is that you can best direct them. My personal experience has been when you present several options, you create confusion. Like it's a 3 or more choices in a point of enrollment, you're going to sign up less people because you inadvertently create some kind of confusion. But whether you choose to do what Master Pesky does, one rate takes care of all, or your tuition may be slightly adjusted based on attendance, steer them. Stop asking, start telling. Matter of fact, write this down. This is how you steer people. Mrs. Lewis, after what we saw tonight and what you want for your child, the best choice is 2 times per week. Let's get started. Tell them what to do and they'll do it. Yes, ma'am. Your hand's up, Miss Heather.
So you don't offer paid in full at the beginning?
After the fact. All right, check. Oh, I'm so glad you asked.
Yeah.
Given a cash option before they decide is a surefire way of not only collecting less money, enrolling less people. See, here's what you got to keep in mind. Once somebody signs on that line that is dotted, or they hit the submit on your app or however you enroll people, once they do that, there's a degree of ownership. Providing a discount on the membership they own is a surefire way of collecting more money. So my recommendation, Ms. Heather, is offer a cash incentive discount after the sale, not before. Let's not make prepaying an option until after they've enrolled. Well, Fred, that seems kind of challenging. No, what's challenging is this: giving a person multi-options, inviting them to save money before they enroll, because 9 times out of 10, what did they tell you, Ms. Heather? Well, we're going to think about it. We're going to check our finances. Let me check with my spouse. You delay the decision, and to delay is to deny. So the best strategy is to put them on a membership and then say, Mrs. Lewis, there is another way to pay your child's tuition. And this would actually save you a lot of money. May I explain? Sure, go ahead. When a family is able to prepay their program, they save 20%. On this membership, that'd be savings of $600. May I go ahead and use this form of payment to save you all that money? Or is there another form of payment you prefer to use? If you follow this, what I've just described, more people will take advantage of a savings. But if you offer a cash incentivized prepayment before you enroll, you slow down the process of making a decision. And typically, if they leave, they don't come back. But again, it might be different for you. Tell me, is it different?
No.
There you go.
I offer several, but it's usually just the 2. It's the whatever, $199 down, $159 a month, which we will raise our prices.
Yeah, you have to. You have to. See,
and then I offer a paid in full.
Well, again, but we're doing all 3 at once.
Yeah, and I have a couple in between too, so they can do $299 or they can do $499. So, and then obviously they get a little percentage off. If they did say $299 down, they get 5%. If they do through $499, they get 10%. And I know I'm confusing.
Tell the truth now. How many times have you had to break that calculator to figure it out?
I have it all on a sheet. So I have it all down. I have all the memberships on separate sheets. So whatever class they're interested in, that's the sheet I pull out.
Well, I appreciate everything you've explained. However, if you put them on a membership, then come across like it's an afterthought. Oh, Miss Heather, there is another way to pay your child's tuition, and this would actually save you a lot of money. May I explain? Sure, go ahead and explain. When a family prepays their program, they enjoy a savings of 20%. On this membership, it's $1,500. May I go ahead and help you save the money? Well, how much would it be? Well, whatever it is, $2,400. Oh, I'm not sure if I could do it. When they respond like that, they want to do it, but they're not sure if they can do it. So what you do is a fallback. Well, before you say no to the savings, let's do this. Let's take this tuition that saved all that money and do 90 days, same as paid in full. 90 days, same as cash. Break it in 3 installments. First one due today. The next 2 are spaced out 45 days apart. We can do that. I mean, so you can always fall back after you incentivize the decision to prepay. But
I'm
again,
certain you've heard this. Well, let me go home and talk to somebody or think about it because I want to take advantage of that savings before. So let me see if I can do that. In other words, I'm not going to enroll today because I want to save the money. If you do it this way, you just enroll them. And then if they have to think about saving the money, that's okay. They're already enrolled. We've already collected money. It's done. And then if they can't take advantage of the savings, you say this. You say, well, you know, ma'am, our ambition is to always help families save money whenever possible. So if in the future I'm able to extend a savings to your family, is it okay to let you know? And they always, always say yes. So you end it on a positive note, even if they don't do it, but they're already enrolled.
I'm going to add one more piece to this puzzle, okay? And this could generate literally tens of thousands of dollars annually. The number one reason why people prepay a program is because they really get it. They understand the impact this membership is going to have. They understand the value. And the only thing that would make the membership better if they could actually save money on enrolling. So that's why after you enroll them, offering a prepaid option at a savings is a great strategy. However, what Master Pesci just said is really key. And that is, this is our strategy. We're going to ask for the money. If we don't get it, we ask again. If we do get it, we ask for more. And so follow me on this. When I present my membership, I'm going to ask for balanced initial investment first and last month. If they can't do it, I'll fall back and collect the balanced initial investment in the first month. If they can't do that, I'll take the initial investment and disperse it over maybe the first 6 months of membership. However, after the membership is sold, regardless of what they paid, we use the term on sale. We put it on sale by, again, doing that rigmarole I mentioned where there is another way to pay your tuition. Now, if they can't do it, you got to end on a yes. See, money is a personal and private issue, and money can be really uncomfortable, particularly if you don't have any, you don't have that much. So when we invite somebody to prepay and they don't do it, you still got to get a yes. And here's what it sounds like. Well, Miss Lewis, looks like now's not the right time to save on tuition. That's cool. Your kid's going to do great. However, moving forward, if there's ever an opportunity for me to help your family save money, can I reach out and tell you about it? They always say yes. Now I've ended on a yes. Now let's talk about later. Here's the strategy, guys. Reduce your number of payment dates down to 2. My recommendation is the 10th and the 25th. The 10th to meet that payroll that has all those bonuses for your staff. The 25th, you run billing to be prepared for the first of the month and all the bills. So if I reduce the number of payment dates, here's my strategy. 5 days before their first installment is due, I'm going to call them. I'm going to do 3 things. Number 1, I'm going to congratulate how well the student is doing. Ms. Lewis, I thought I'd reach out to you and say, hey, congratulations. Your kid's doing great. Not only have we made the right decision, it really is quite remarkable how well your child is doing even after his first month. So number 1, you congratulate the kid. Second, you commend the parent. And Ms. Lewis, I know he doesn't drive himself. So I want to thank you for your continued support. It's parents like you that make our martial arts such a wonderful community. And third, when you first enrolled, I may have mentioned you could save money, but anyway, this is a reminder. This Friday, your bank is going to pay our bank the tuition, and there is another way to pay for your program. May I explain? They always say yes. When a family prepays the program, they save whatever they save. May I go ahead and use the card on file? If they can't do it, you fall back, break in 3 installments. If you can't do it, that's cool. No harm, no foul. 4 things have happened. They know the kid's doing really well. Why? You congratulated them. Second, they feel appreciated. Why? Because you thanked them. Third, you gave them a gentle reminder about how to save money. And fourth, you reminded them that their bank is going to pay your bank. What you're going to find when you really start watching your business, most memberships that default, they didn't make their first installment. So of all the things you can do to build your billing, build your membership, making certain that they make the first installment is paramount. So 5 days before their first installment is due on whatever membership they most recently paid for and is enrolled on, reach out and offer them a savings incentive. And if you do this, you can add another 5, 7, 10 grand to your gross income that month. But Fred, if everybody cashes out, I'll go broke. No, you won't. As a matter of fact, once you get the tuition out of the way, typically a student stays longer. And if you do the job right, there's always another membership for them to enjoy and commit to. Next question, Master Pesky.
All right. Kevin at Chris at Master Chains. What's your counter when you get, well, Karate X down the street's only 99 bucks a month?
Yeah, I heard that. I did. I heard that, but it would be unfair for me to comment. But I will tell you this, I know what happens here. And this is the right academy for your youngster. That's what you say. Yeah. Don't bash him. Don't try to justify. But hold on now, I got a Porsche payment to make on the 15th. Skip all that stuff. Just don't comment. Or comment with an air of panache and sophistication. Separate yourself from the argument about money. So Chris, can you, oh, there you are. Hey, Chris, good to see you again, sir. So let's role play. Hey, listen, you sound like you're awfully expensive. I heard the guy down the street is only charging XYZ. Come on. Why are you so expensive?
Well, sir, I have heard that. We have lots of neighbors in our area, and, it's not my place to comment on what they do over there, but we believe strongly in what we offer here and how we offer it. And I believe that MCMA is truly going to be the right place for little Johnny here.
All right, we gotta reduce the words. We gotta leverage a little word economy. Okay, ready? First part is most important. Yeah, I heard that. All right, give me that one.
Oh yeah, I did hear that.
Yeah, I heard that. Let's do it again. Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, and it would be unfair for me to comment.
It would be unfair for me to comment.
I know what we do here.
I know what we do here.
This is the right academy for your son. Let's get Timmy enrolled.
This is the right academy for your son. Let's get him enrolled.
That's the way you do it. Hey, listen, there is no competition. There's only in-house disorganization and lack of following through with your commitment. I mean, damn the torpedoes. I don't care what Timmy. Hey, visit Jack. I'm changing the topic real quick. Visit Jacksonville, Florida. There is a karate academy literally on every street corner. I mean, they are everywhere. There's only one type of business that outnumbers karate schools. I might be exaggerating just a tad, and that's coffee shops, because we know they're everywhere. Hell, there are coffee shops inside of coffee shops, although it feels that way. So you can't worry about the competition. Now, I'm going to worry about them to the degree where I'm not even going to make comments about them. Yeah, I heard that. Well, I really can't comment on that. It'd be unfair to me to say anything at all. I don't know the instructor, but I do know what we do here. And based on our experience after this very first lesson, your family found the right academy. Now, let's get started. Be that deliberate, that direct. And what that does, that comforts people. People have to see what do they have to see? They have to see how committed you are for them, how confident you are for them. And quit asking, start telling. So that's a great question. So now you have the answer. So let's do it one more time, Chris, since I'm having so much fun putting you on the chopping block. All right, ready? Hey, I didn't expect it to be this much. I heard the guy down the street's only charging half this.
Well, hey, I did hear that. And I don't think it would be fair for me to comment on that, but I know what we do here, and I know this is going to be the right place for Tommy. So let's go ahead and get him signed up.
Oh, that was pretty good. The only thing I would change is get rid of the word but. Replace, I'm not sure where I heard this, but typically everything after but, when you give an excuse, a reason, or explanation, typically is an exaggeration or a lie. So don't use but, use however. However, I know what we do here, and after tonight's first lesson, you found the right martial art academy. Let's get Timmy enrolled. Just be that direct, that direct. This idea that we have to encourage people to sign up is a good idea. It just doesn't work that well. Stop asking, start telling, and start changing lives. Thank you, Chris. Another
right,
question.
Last question here. We're almost out of time. We've got Master Stephen Thompson. After watching last week's training, love the attendance-based certification. The question is, I use a rotating curriculum. I teach in terms every 2 months and test at the end. If I do it this way, how do I word what the students are learning? Number 2, 3 tags, a tag every 10 lessons. So do they ever get the 3rd tag, or do they get 2 tags on the 30th lesson? They get their belt, I'm assuming.
I think I counted 3 or 4 questions in that one statement. All right, so let's a rotating curriculum was the effort to scale. The rotating curriculum was an effort to scale. And let me dive into this just be a moment. Back in the olden times, based on your belt rank, your belt color you wore around your waist, there was a restricted amount of material we were to teach you. But the problem with that is that it wasn't scalable. You couldn't really commercialize it. Remember, when the traditional way of instruction was first created, if you had 50 students, you were a rock star. Well, here it is 40, 50 years later. If you have 50 students, you might be broke. So the rotating curriculum was designed to get more people on the mat at the same time under the same instruction. However, you may have to just take a step back and not be so concerned about how tight your rotation is. And so maybe we can tackle this offline, Master Thompson. But what I want you to realize is that you might have to make a slight adjustment on your rotation, maybe extend it out. But I want you to realize that the more restricted you are in allowing students to obtain rank other than attendance, the less likely you'll keep people around long enough to make it to black belt. Our strategy for colored belts is to prepare them for their black belt test. It's not about memorization. It's not about a specific delivery of materials in a particular order. It's about working on your cardiovascular efficiency and endurance, muscular strength, flexibility, coordination, balance, and absorbing the information and knowledge about the martial arts so you can perform. So we'll take that question offline a little bit. But what we do in Jacksonville, what we do in California, looking around the room, half the studios on this call, is they award rank based on full-on, full-out participation in class. Based on the number of classes a student participates, they are recognized and awarded a stripe. In Jacksonville, it's 30 classes. The 9th class is striped. The 18th class is striped. Class number 27 is striped. The remaining 3 classes are in preparation to be awarded their belt on class number 30. And to answer your question about the stripe, they have 2 stripes on their belt. On class 30, they get a new belt.
That's it.
Yeah, there we go.
All right. Well, we are out of time.
Well, hold on. I want a couple of takeaways about charging more money. I need 2 takeaways in terms of listening to what we had to say about tuition and how you may have been inspired to change your tuition rate. Who's up?
I got one thing.
I
got one thing. Making sure, because like you said, what I was kind of doing was trying to upsell before collecting the cash. So making sure that I secure at least 2 times per week. And then after the money's in the bag, then going into upselling into having them save money. That's a big thing for me, because they say you give out too many different prices and then they get confused and then they got to think about it.
Well, what I've learned from personal experience is this. Once somebody owns the membership, leveraging for a cash savings, it works. But inviting somebody to save on a program they haven't bought yet, if you think about it, yeah, it is a little wiggly. Because when somebody makes a firm commitment to leverage savings is easy. But to offer somebody savings before they enroll, we are actually inviting another conversation. Not with them, but then with someone else, talking to their spouse or a neighbor or maybe a grandparent. So ask for the cash after the sale. I need one more takeaway. We'll wrap it up. Go ahead, sir. Yes, Justin.
The money equals the value. The more money you charge, the more valuable you will become.
Yeah, if I said, hey, Justin, I got a car to sell you. It's $900. Hey, Justin, I got a car to sell you. I want 90 grand for it. What just happened in your brain? The $900 car, you don't even want to, no, we don't need to talk about that. The $90,000 automobile, you might say, well, what is it? Hey, listen, we live in North America, guys. There is a direct correlation between price and value and price. If you want to make yourself a better operator, charge enough for you to get up off that couch and get better at learning these systems and enrollment procedures. Because the way you establish value isn't what they get to do, because they haven't done anything yet. The way you establish value is how you communicate and the connection you make with your prospective client and what presentation you perform to help them realize, hey, I did find the right place and I do understand why the tuition is what it is.
It really does make you take it more seriously too. I mean, when you charge a little bit, if you're charging $99 a month, you don't care if you start an in class on time. It's like, you don't care how clean it is. You're charging $249, $349 a month. It's like, ooh, I don't want them to quit. Let me make sure everything's right. We got to start, we got to finish, everything's got to be clean and neat. You take it more seriously if you're charging a premium tuition, and therefore they get more value out of it.
Yeah. Hey, if your heart isn't beating just a little bit when you're enrolling people, you're not charging enough. Well, but Fred, I want to avoid that. No, you don't. You want to meet that head on, and that's how we create a business. We create an opportunity, not just for ourselves, but for juniors. Because the one thing I do know in this business is that ain't no romance without finance. If the money doesn't show up, you become discouraged. And when the money shows up, you become more encouraged, but it doesn't show up on its own. It shows up after you've asked. So get better at selling, guys, and enjoy this wonderful career we're in.
Yes.
That's all I got, Master Pesky.
All right, last question. We'll log off. Do you offer a family discount?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, heck, Roman just dropped the link in there for a free call. Who was that put that? Sam. Hit that link, Sam. Let's schedule a 15-minute call. We'll explain exactly what we do because we are out of time for today. And if for some reason you can't do that, heck, we'll see you next Monday and let's ask it then. But hit the link. We can schedule a call. We'll go over that in detail. You guys all have an amazing week. Have a wonderful day. And I appreciate you guys being on the call. Thank you very much.
All right. All the best. God bless. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.